Hello everyone, Daniel from DePIN Hub here, and today and now we're here in Dubai for the Fluence event, the DePIN Day. I have Santeri from Auki, and our project is actually, we have really cool things with augmented reality, like location, and I'll let you introduce the project. I was actually, a few months ago in Hong Kong, I went to the office, saw the robots walking around, and the cool things you guys are building was very impressive, so it's really nice to talk to you again. You were also on the DePIN Hub podcast a few months ago. It was really interesting, so also make sure to check it out. But I'll let you introduce yourself and Naoki.
Sure. Hey, great to be here. Thank you for having me. Santeri, the co-founder at Auki Labs. And what we do is we help AI see the physical world collaboratively and objectively. And the way we do it is we help create spatial maps that become machine readable. So when you take out your phone and you go on augmented reality mode, it knows where you are in that physical space, and it can help you navigate across the entire space that you're in. And the same layer will be used for AR glasses as they're coming, and robots will also be able to use the exact same coordination layer. So
it's a very big problem, right? Like I saw you on the office, you had like this virtual, like the supermarket, and then you have the devices moving around, knowing where to go, analyzing the pictures of the shelves. And what was the idea behind building that?
Well, in the very early stages, when we started, we were like, okay, how can we create shared AR experiences and overlay them on top of physical spaces? And then connect different devices so that we see the same thing in the same place at the same time. And we realized that was a massive challenge. And that's where we said, all right, let's actually expand this scope beyond what we were like trying to do, because we were in tabletop gaming back then. And now we're trying to literally create decentralized visual positioning systems that will essentially make GPS obsolete, at least in indoor navigation and in a lot of very precise settings where, for example, what you saw, our supermarket, you have many products in that store and they're already tightly packed together. And so knowing exactly where every single product is vital. It's critical. Exactly. And this is where we shine in like centimeter precision and being able to place digital information on top of physical space with great precision. So that when robots go out there and they grab a can of Coke, they actually are grabbing the right thing. And that's...
Yeah, I think more and more robots are going to like take over a lot of these spaces, right? So like automation. Imagine you close a supermarket at night and then the robots just go and reorganize the things that people decided to do, refill the shelves and things like that. For that, you really need strict positioning. And I think that's why the technology that you guys are building, right?
Yes, absolutely. So right now we use QR codes as anchors that are essentially tied together that create this persistent coordinate layer that appears. And then everything else can be kind of placed relative to those things. And we go out there, you can use just your phone and scan the space, and you create a sparse point cloud that represents the digital twin that you can then reconstruct. And so you have to anchor this precisely into reality, and you have to make it in a way where you can reconstruct these digital twins easily, because the physical world is ever changing.
Yeah.
Shelves in a supermarket and the products where they're placed are constantly moving. So you have to have a very easy way to kind of reconstruct your digital twin when it does not sync with reality any longer, right? Yeah. And this is why we have these robots, which you saw roaming around. They have two very key functions. The number one function is that it looks like a Roomba. It's a programmable base robot that can localize inside the coordinate system. And it has a tower with some 4K cameras. So it can constantly go around and scan the space and then reconstruct it when it does not represent the reality. But what it also does is we can run computer vision on it, and it can look for empty shelves. And when it sees an empty shelf, we can place labels precisely in that spot with the right label where it says, oh, the ketchup is missing here, and create a task for staff to go and refill that. And we know that this is one of the greatest pain points that retail has today. It's $1 trillion problem, actually.
I know. I have a friend actually from Brazil. that he has one of the biggest companies, tech companies in the country, and they're only focused on doing that. And they were initially doing that with like someone uses a cell phone to take pictures.
Yeah.
And now you are automating this whole process.
Yeah.
It's super, super interesting. I mean, one thing that I really like, you mentioned that you guys started at a tabletop. I remember when I visited the office, like all the nerds like me, they're playing like Warhammer, trying to measure everything.
Yeah.
How can we actually not have to use a ruler, but use like the cell phone to calculate everything? And it's been very interesting to see the process. How has it been to like from the initial idea and the pivoting and expanding the vision of Auki?
So it's cool to start with a very specific problem because you're kind of focusing on really how can you solve a real world problem? And that's a core thing that we always do at Auki, where we really focus on fixing real world problems, including the token. It's fixing a real world problem, right? And so moving from figuring out how to place two devices inside a small coordinate system was very exciting. It actually allowed us to create a pattern called instant calibration. So we can now calibrate instantly, precisely into a coordinate system. And expanding that has been quite the adventure. Like we took the consumer route where we figured out, hey, why don't we just help create these AR companions called Incos, so that we all in our homes can have these AR experiences and share them with our friends and family. But it was very challenging. You know, there's not a lot of, you have to scale that into a very large ecosystem before you can kind of start generating money with it. And so we essentially said, let's pivot. Let's move towards enterprise solutions. Let's figure out a way where we can solve a problem for a big enterprise. And then once we solve that problem and they start paying for that solution, we can go back to the fun stuff.
Yeah. And how does the token work around Auki and what you guys are building?
So the Auki token is inherently a utility token. And if you tie burn mechanisms to that token, you actually start accruing the value into the ecosystem. So we created a deflationary token that is a burn credit mint model. And so every time you interact with the Auki network, you're going to have to burn some Auki tokens. The application does. Not you specifically, but the application burns Auki tokens and gets some credits and use those credits to access the awareness layer, the spatial awareness layer. And then we remint tokens to the nodes that helped create this experience. And so we always mint less than what we burned. So you create this incredible mechanism where every time somebody uses the network, there is less tokens available, and that's how you accrue the value into the token and make the utility tied to the burn.
And what kind of if you remember, what is the most challenging thing so far that you guys built, or so far with the project?
So far with the project, the most challenging thing. Can I go a little technical?
Go all you want.
All right, sure. One of the things that I find to be very, very difficult to solve, because all augmented reality experiences will have this, is something called drift. So you go out there and you start your experience, but if you start shaking your head with your AR glasses around, it kind of loses its bearings. It doesn't really know where it is. And it kind of has to start figuring out, okay, where am I again,
Yeah.
And that's called drift. And all AR experiences have this problem, no matter what solution, from what angle you're trying to solve it. And so we went a very, very simplistic route, which is placing QR codes along a straight line, for example, or across the entire space that you're on, so that every time you kind of drift too far away from the real world position, it can notify you and say, hey, you're kind of drifted now. Go and find a QR code to scan, But you have to make it as seamless as possible. If not, it breaks the experience.
What other use cases are you guys excited about other than like supermarkets and stores?
For me, what I'm looking at here in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, what I'm very excited about is really looking at smart cities. Because ultimately, if you want to make a smart city, you have to have a very strong foundational layer, which is the spatial awareness layer built, and then you can start creating a smart city on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that actually should be decentralized. And I'm trying to tell people here that, hey, control is great, but resilience is better, right? The foundational critical layer should be decentralized so that there's no one angle of attack that can bring it down.
That's true. How do you see, I see that Abu Dhabi especially has been very, very open to crypto, to the innovation. Have you been in talk with them yet? Or like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I got to meet some interesting people. Yeah, I headed out to Abu Dhabi and I spent some time there. And I've also have another panel tomorrow with some government
that's awesome.
people. So about smart cities and governments. So we're heading right towards the right direction.
Exciting times.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you see now, Auki, in the next like few months or few years? You see the growth of the projects?
Well, the first thing is to show that there is real demand for your network, and that's the retail angle. So we're very, very focused on that, making sure that we deliver a quality product to retailers that becomes like a no-brainer sort of decision. Like I must do this. If not, I'm lagging behind, right? And once we solve that, we'll move into logistics, we'll move into warehouses, we'll move into government buildings, and provide them with navigation and education.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. Like, what would you like to tell the community about Auki, how they can get involved?
Yeah, so you can go onto auki.com and you can find, we've laid out a very clear way for you to kind of come and participate with us, where today what we have is these very cool QR codes. So you can buy a portal kit of about 10 of these QR codes and set up your own domain in your home and create your own first spatial layer, which is cool. And you can place any images, 3D models or videos in that. And soon it will actually be an NFT-enabled digital layer. So go check it out and find us on aukiverse.gg. No, sorry, Discord. .gg at Aukiverse, and you can find me there very easily. I'm fully doxed, so you can easily come and talk to me. I'm very, very approachable. So I look forward to catching up with all of you.
We have also a very interesting podcast on DePIN Hub Podcast. If you go to deepinhub.io/project/Auki, check the podcast. It was like a very brilliant episode. We talk about a lot of things, not necessarily just Auki, but like crypto in general. I think it was really interesting. Auki is 100% on project you should be checking out because augmented reality is the future. It's coming. It's a lot of work to get something perfect, but we're going to get there.
Absolutely.
Be early, like don't waste this opportunity.
Nice. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.